This is the one and only TQuest. You're tuned into the TQuest show. Relatable, informative, yet entertaining. Shout out to our listeners out there, new and old. You know myself, alongside my partner in greatness, DJ El Nino. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you are new to the platform, make sure you follow us on all social media platforms at TQuestGLM and at DJ El Nino. Follow us on our website, GottaLoveMeWorld.com, where you can find Gotta Love Me Radio, home of the music and conversations you want to hear. GLM Designs here to cater to all your graphic needs. GLM merch, because in my opinion, it's hoodie season all year round, because last I checked, it does rain in Florida. And GLM Voice, because I am the voice goddess. And then remember, us here in the world of GLM, we're here to cater to every need, even if it's just a conversation. If you're a person that needs someone just to talk to, or you want to start your brand and you need some help, all you got to do is contact us, because we're here to help you elevate as a person as well as a brand. And before we get into today's show, we have to do a mental check, because at the end of the day, even the biggest smile may have something going on behind it. So we want to make sure our people are all okay. And like I said, if you need someone just to talk to, you can contact us. But as we always say, GLM, what it is? Hey, you.
Me?
Yes, you.
What up?
Are you ready to take your brand to the next level?
Hell yeah!
GLM Designs can help you with just that.
Word?
From laptop skins,
You lying?
promotional flyers,
Yo, son!
promo videos,
I need that!
OBS Twitch overlays and backgrounds,
Hey, yo, let me get that!
professional one sheets, and so much more.
Oh my god.
Please visit our
I'm on
website,
it right now!
GottaLoveMeWorld.com, today to check out our designs.
Got it!
Follow us on social media at Gotta Love Me World.
Follow it!
GLM Designs are here to take care of all your graphic needs. And of course, you guys know when it comes to the TQuest show with DJ El Nino, we always have special guests on the show, from regular folk to celebrity chefs to entrepreneurs. You just never know who's going to be on the platform. So if you ever want to be on the show,
The TQuest show with DJ El Nino. Relatable, informative, yet entertaining.
if you think you can handle being a guest on the show, contact us today. We've interviewed independent artists to mainstream, regular folk to celebrities. You never know who's going to be our special guest, and one day it may just be you. Follow us on all social media platforms at TQuestGLM and DJ El Nino. El Nino. El Nino. And speaking of SCA Best Skill Blend DJ of the Year and the Worldwide Fleet DJs Mix Show DJ of the Year, yes, he's award winning. So you know we have to give him his flowers. My partner in greatness, DJ El Nino. 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 Nino.
TQuest, what's going on? Happy to be here once again.
As you should be, because this show is the greatest.
Yeah, that part. I'm here for all that.
Absolutely. And shout out to our listeners.
Sean, DJ Abel, what's good, my man?
Absolutely, DJ Abel. Jersey on the check.
Jersey in the building.
Shout out to Brendan. I know you guys are super excited about today's interview and today's guest. I know we recently put a post up about this beautiful, gifted young lady.
Yes.
And there was like, I'll be tuned in. And I'm glad you guys are, because it's going to be an incredible show, as usual, because that's what we're here to do on the TQuest show. Like we always say, when it comes to the guests, particularly musicians, it's more behind the music. It's more behind the music. And like you said, recently, a lot of R&B artists been contacting us.
Facts, that part.
Because it's time to bring. I know that it's weird to say it, but it's still the truth. We got to bring back real R&B. If the new R&B is where music is today, that's cool. But there's still a lot of people out there that's feeling for a certain type of R&B that feel like it's getting lost in the shuffle. So it's our job to highlight it more. Do you agree, DJ Nino?
Of course, I agree. You know what I mean? I got a radio show. I got an R&B radio show 5 days a week. You know what I mean? So you know I'm looking for it. So I'm happy that they're coming out.
Absolutely. And you're the manager of the Vision
And
of
I'm
the
the
Year
man.
R&B
There you go.
two
And I'm the
times
manager
running.
of that part.
Okay.
That part. Yeah.
Which means no pressure, but we got to keep bringing them great R&B
Yeah.
so we can keep bringing in those awards, okay?
Yeah. There you go. There you go. There you go.
Absolutely, absolutely. You're right. Let's bring back singers that sing and can sing.
That part. That
And
part.
speaking of that,
Yeah.
without further ado,
Watch what we got.
let's bring to you guys Selina Albright.
Hey y'all, how you doing?
There she is. There she is. There she
Thank
is.
you
I
for
feel like
having
I'm ready to
me.
go. How are you doing today?
Good. I'm really good. It's a
Yeah.
nice, cool, overcast day. You
Mm-hmm.
know, feels good. I got sleep
Absolutely.
last night. I woke up this morning. I really cannot complain.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I
There
still
you
get to
go.
take
Absolutely.
this. So I'm really feeling blessed because I'm looking forward to that too.
Absolutely. As we get older, those little things are just mean so much more.
They
You
really
know,
do.
it really
They really
does. Like,
do.
how's the weather? It's perfect today. Don't ruin it.
Yeah, do not kill the vibe, please. No, I'm doing
Absolutely.
really, really, really good. How are y'all doing?
We're
I'm doing
great.
great. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. We're doing great.
Absolutely
Good.
great.
Winning awards. We got the voice goddess over here, you know.
Oh, did you notice, Selena?
Wow, that's what we're doing.
I am the voice goddess.
Oh,
And I'm like,
yeah.
oh, okay, radio,
Oh,
let's do it.
you know, when God has blessed you with a gift, okay,
Yes.
you just have to share it with the world, you
Some
know?
people
So,
are not courageous enough to share their gifts with the world, or they just
Facts.
feel good enough about it and don't
Yep.
have the confidence. And I'm glad that you're here, DJ T
thank
Quest.
you.
That's awesome. And
Thank
DJ,
you.
see, I'm from Southern California,
Yeah.
so automatically say El Nino, and I know that's wrong. DJ El Nino.
Thank you. Thank you.
A lot of
Thank you.
people think that, like as niño because so used to Nino, you know what I mean?
Yes,
So
I
a
just
lot of people be saying it like that.
yes. I'm not at all Latina, but I just it comes out sometimes because of the LA.
Exactly, because people just more it's more common to the people.
That's
But
right.
That's what we're doing.
look, I'm the voice goddess
I'm
when
here
it
for all
comes
this.
to
I'm here for all of it.
voice acting, right?
Yes.
But
Yes.
Selena,
Mm.
Selena's
Yeah, she got, yeah. Yeah, she's a voice goddess herself.
exactly
Yeah.
with
This is
music.
gonna be fun. I can already tell you're crazy. I can tell. This is gonna be fun.
It's definitely gonna be
We're gonna
fun.
meet crazy. It's gonna be really cool. The silly
Yeah.
and the
Absolutely. So I guess you can answer the first question from the people that are tuned in.
it does. It rains regularly in Southern California. Yes, it does. The song is lying to you. It's not
So it's a
always
lie.
in fact, we get floods out there. We've had floods
Wow.
happen in LA. Southern California's got some weather. It's just not as harsh and it doesn't last as long as other places. So, yes, it does. That is the answer to
That
that question.
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, it rains in Florida a damn day.
absolutely.
a
Just
day.
in Florida.
A day. A day rains here. You know what I mean?
But it's okay. Sometimes we need that.
Facts. Yeah, sometimes you
We
need to
need that.
cleanse that away. Yeah, facts.
any
Sometimes it's
any
just too hot.
homeowner who has a water bill is loving the rain.
There you go. That part. That part. That
I
part.
didn't
That grass. Yeah. Yeah. That part. That is facts. That is facts right there.
You're right.
Factual.
You're right.
Absolutely.
You're right. Shout out to J Dub the King from
J Dub, what's
Arizona.
going
I
on?
know it's hot out there.
Yeah,
Okay.
Arizona in the building.
Whew, whew, whew. Oh my god! I remember he was on social media the other day talking about something was acting. His AC was acting. He was mad. I'm like, from what you hear in Arizona, I'll be upset too. Okay.
Yeah, that part.
Absolutely. But it's not about California. It's not about Florida. It's not about Arizona. It's all about Selena Albright. Okay. So what we're gonna do is when it comes to a lot of the guests, right?
Yeah.
No matter if they're like I say in the intro, when it comes to musicians, they can be independent, they can be mainstream or whatever, right? In my personal opinion, no matter who you are, everybody's not going to know you. Even
No.
the most popular musician and artist, everyone doesn't know you. You got to realize every day a new baby is being born. So some of the artists from years ago may not know who you are, even though they could be legends and other people's face. So out of
Mhm.
respect for whoever is listening on whatever platform, when they hear this, I
Mhm.
want you to let them know who you are, where you're from, and about your beautiful gift.
I can do that. So my
Thank you.
name is Selina Albright, and I'm an R&B, soul, and sometimes jazz songwriter, vocalist, and recording artist.
Mhm.
I am originally from LA, so Southern California, which is why I was asked if it rained there. It does. And now I live in Denver, Colorado, which is really beautiful. And it snows here. So we have craziness with the weather right now. It doesn't know what to do. But yeah, that's who I am. I've been in the music business for over 20 years, whether in the background or in the forefront.
Mhm.
And I have a brand new single out. And I swear these singles, they get more and more vulnerable and relatable every time I release one. I don't
Mhm.
know what the heck the next one is going to sound like because, you go through things in life and then you write about it and it's therapy. So, I have a new single out called Dishonest Smile. And DJ T Quest, you were talking about if something is behind your smile, call in and talk about that. I was listening. I'm all about that. I'm all about self improvement, getting closer to God, or just getting closer to yourself and loving yourself through whatever means necessary.
Absolutely, absolutely. The reason, well, let's be clear. The song is called "Dishonest Smile." There's nothing dishonest about me, right?
Mm-mm.
So
Or
I just want to
me.
put that disclaimer in
That's
there.
right. That's right. We all honesty in the building. All right. Honesty.
No.
We straight. We straight here. You know what I mean?
That's good. I'm glad your smiles are honest because mine is honest too. I really feel
Thanks.
comfortable with y'all,
Okay.
and I'm ready to answer whatever questions y'all might have
I love
about
that. I love that.
Let
me.
me ask you one question since you said something. You talking about you from my house city from Denver now. Now,
Yeah.
how does that vocally? You know what I mean? Does that affect you
Ooh,
vocally or you know?
Oh, that's a good
it helps. That's a great question. My whole body is my instrument, so I have to stay hydrated. I have to make sure I eat. But high altitude is hard to breathe in.
one.
So, if you sing in the mountains, like I used to, oh my God, I used to be in a cover band out here. I won't mention the name, but I used to be in a cover band and we would play on top of Aspen Mountain. We would have to take a gondola all the way up to the top. And there's this, and you have to be careful about drinking. These parties at the top of this mountain for weddings, whatever the case may be, conferences, like they were lit because people didn't realize you have to drink differently up there. And I'm not a drinker, but I love to watch. And so singing up there was super hard the first time. But as you train up there and you go up there, and even just in 5280, just right here where we are in the city of Denver, it's still hard to sing here. And I've heard saxophonists and trumpet players say that they really are exhausted after shows, but if you train here and then you go to California or Florida or somewhere on an island, then you can sing all the really, really, really good long notes. So it works for training, but it is hard to sing here, I'll be honest. Like it's a workout before you get used to it. I have almost fainted.
Oh no, we can't
Stay.
have that.
No,
We
in the
can't
studio. I was
have
like, oh. But yeah, you gotta drink your water. You gotta stay, you know. Oh yeah, alcohol and altitude, you really have to be careful. I'm watching all these questions come in and all these comments. Alcohol and altitude is a terrible combination. The air is thinner, your body can't process it as well. And so it dehydrates you even more. And oh God, those parties were so fun to watch from the stage, you guys.
that.
Yes.
I believe maybe to a certain degree, right? Because that's when my bouginess comes out. You know,
I would
because
love to see that.
I'm just saying, because Nino and I, we don't drink, right?
Right.
But
That's
I
good.
tell him, like, if I was out, I would know what to order. If I want to get like wine or champagne or a little girl, I know what to order, but I'm not a drinker. Like I cannot if I had no alcohol for the rest, like I'm cool with that. My favorite beverage is water, right? So
Yeah.
and it's good for you too.
See, I can't agree with you. My favorite beverage is not water. I like what it does, but I get bored with it. So I have to force myself to drink it because I know it's good for my throat and the rest of my
Hmm.
body.
Absolutely, absolutely. Shout out to DJ Shy from Florida checking in. But my thing is, when it comes to people who drink and what it does to them, I'm like, look, I understand you were having a great time, but you just make sure that great time does not come in my bubble, okay?
Okay.
Because some people do not know how to control
Yeah,
themselves.
that part.
And
Yeah.
at
That
the end
part.
of the day, I can't have you messing up what I'm here for. And usually, if I'm at an event, I'm either performing, hosting, radio, comedy, so I'm here working. And I don't
Mhm.
need you to work my nerves. Yeah. So,
Yeah. That's why I like the separation between the
exactly.
stage and the audience for
Like,
those types of
hello down there.
situations.
Yeah, it
Hello.
is.
How are you?
Yeah.
Stay over there. Yeah.
No,
No, but I
I've
think
been
that's a
in.
great question. Because recently, I believe the singer Sierra
Mm,
and Russell Wilson they moved, and I
yeah,
think they
Yeah,
you're
they're
out
living there. Yep,
here.
that's right.
exactly. So
That's
they
right. By the
said
Broncos.
it was something that she had to get used to
Yeah.
in the midst of recording because the altitude, everything is totally different. So I love how you said that because a lot of people don't pay attention to that. It's the
Mhm.
same thing when it comes to being performers
Yes.
or whatever your talent is. Even if you're great at it, you still
Mhm.
have to exercise your instrument because every platform is different, temperatures is different, everything's totally
Um,
different. You
if
know
you
what I
look,
mean? So you
yeah,
have to be prepared.
yep.
So what does humidity do to you? As a singer,
It's dry heat out here or
right?
dry freezing temperatures. So I have to stay hydrated because my body's always trying to keep my throat more, for lack of a better word, moist. I didn't want to say hydrated twice, but um, it's really dry out here. But I noticed that when I sing in places that are on the coast, it's a lot easier, especially if there's not a lot of smog. So I'm basically affected by everything. So I have to coat my throat with really healthy things. I drink a lot of chicken soup. I love chicken broth. And
Hmm.
teas are hit or miss. I like a little throat coat. But when it comes to dry climates like this one, and we're in high altitude and the air is thin,
Hmm.
it can be a lot for a person who's not used to it. So people who are traveling in here and they go straight into their show after they land, and then they have to wait for their ears to open from the cabin pressure on the flight, and then they got to try to be on key too. It's pretty rough. It's quite the exercise. So,
Absolutely.
it
That's right.
does affect. It does
So
affect.
what would be one of your go tos that would surprise me that helps you with your voice? You know what I mean? A
Sleep.
surprise go to. Sleep.
No, I'm serious. I'm
Okay.
so serious. If you don't sleep, your voice is all kinds of trash.
Hmm.
So I like to make sure I get at least 7 hours of sleep. Now, I do have a baby now who's less than 2 months old, and she finally just had her first two consecutive nights of 7 to 8 hours sleep in a row. And
Mm.
it has been everything. That's why I said I got sleep last night and I woke up this morning, and those were like, and I'm about to eat steak. So that, yeah,
All right. All right. I like that. I like that.
I could sing today. Now Tuesday was my first studio day back since having the baby. And since I had a C-section, that anesthesia and just the recovery affects your lungs. So I had to train before I went in, and still was part training. So it's constantly, I feel like an athlete a lot of times. And I think people underestimate, if you really care about your craft and your health, people underestimate how much you have to do in order to stay healthy. So I don't drink because I know it's going to dry me up. And I want to give y'all my best notes. And plus, I don't want to feel hungover the next day because that's overrated. And so is the actual buzz. I could just be happy. You know what I mean?
We do.
What? The look
But
on your
here come the bougie side. To each his own. If that's what you like, then okay. But I don't understand it. It's not a pleasant feeling. They was like, "Oh my god, I had the best time last night. What'd you do? I don't even remember. That's how I know it was so good." I'm like, make that
no
make sense.
That part.
Even
the
make
pictures come back, and now we have social media, and it's so much more accessible
Oh
than
my
it used to
god.
be, where you had to have. I'm reaching way back here, but Polaroid cameras. Now it's like a little vintage cutesy thing that you can have the upgraded version of a Polaroid. But back then you had to like wind it up long, long time ago when I was a kid. That's
Mm.
the time when you should have had your I blacked out moment. I know it was fun. And there are no pictures because it takes too long. How are you supposed to wind up a camera and have fun at the same time? So a lot of times what happened in those places stayed in those places. Now
Mm.
they just pull out their cell phone and they'll be like, oh, okay. Before you
And it
know
can be anyone.
It can be anybody.
It
Facts. Facts. It can
be
be anybody.
can be
literally
the
what
next
It can be anybody.
meme.
Yep. It can be anyone. Yep.
ah, it's a lot
Yep.
of pressure. Not that I was interested in it anyway, but I'm very careful about how I go into the world. Not
Hmm.
only because I care about my safety, but that's a huge factor too. You know,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's a
facts.
lot.
Back in the day, it was just a story that may have been told
right?
amongst friends. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Now we got
Now,
receipts.
yeah, facts. Facts.
Too many
Facts.
receipts.
Facts.
Yeah.
Now you may be the latest meme. You know what I mean? Just
Mm.
facts. So you got to be careful.
Absolutely.
You could
Even
be.
though,
Hmm.
go ahead, love. Go ahead.
No, you be doing normal things and become a meme just because you made the
Yes.
wrong face.
Yes.
Look,
That's it.
I want to be a meme, but I have to make sure I'm cute and it's a positive meme. That's why you
Yeah.
put a disclaimer in there, okay? Because
Yeah.
I express myself a lot. When we on the show and someone says something I don't understand, I'd be like, what? Like it's
Mm.
just always different faces, so it depends which. As long as it's cute, like I'm cool with it. But even though we're like laughing and joking, I love having conversations like this because I
Yeah.
want to remind people who are just jumping into the music industry because they feel like it's easy that there's a lot that goes into creating great quality music, and
Yes,
there's a lot that goes into creating a great quality performance.
it's
You
true.
know, it's the littlest things that can just throw you all the way off. But
Yeah.
people don't
You just
realize
go on the stage and sing, and everybody hears you perfectly,
that. Hmm.
and everybody knows the music already. And, unless you just travel with your same band and you travel with your same sound crew, you don't just show up and everything is done typically. And even
Hmm.
if it is done, you still got to sound check, you got to rehearse. The
Hmm.
rehearsal going into it, if it's not the band that you're used to, can be very taxing. And a lot of times that happens the same day as the show. So
Absolutely.
you fly in, you wake up at the butt crack of dawn, which means you haven't gotten the sleep you might have wanted. You get on
Hmm.
the flight, which means you're exposed to germs, which I cover my whole head up when I'm on a flight. I bring a
You
big long,
start.
I look like a mummy, and I put it around my head and I put it around my neck, around my nose and mouth. And I was doing this before the pandemic. So it has always been a thing for me. And I have not gotten sick since I started doing that. Um, and I noticed a huge difference. So you go on the flight, you get off the flight, you got to get your bags. If a bag is lost, you may have to shop and get an outfit for that night without it being planned. Then you go to rehearsal after dropping off your bags at the hotel, and hopefully that went smoothly. And then you go get dressed, and then you do the show. And then afterward, there's like a meet and greet, or it might have been before the show. It's a long, like, it takes a lot of
Fact.
stamina to do a show, and it takes preparation. Like, we really love what we do when
Hmm.
we're on the stage performing for you. And if we don't, we're probably not going to be in it very long, because you have to love it to do it. And it has to be,
Absolutely.
it's definitely for me worth the connection I get with the people who bought the ticket and come to see what I'm about to do. Like, it's totally worth it for that connection. I love it. It's the travel that I get paid for, not the show.
Fact. I
Yeah.
love that. Speaking of traveling, shout out to one of the sponsors of our show, Winnings Escapes, the number one travel agency out there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So shout out to her. And once again, people get caught up in seeing someone's finished product and knowing the time and hard work the artist put in to make.
Facts.
Yes.
Facts. That's very true. That is
It's
very true. That is very true. And don't make it look easy. That's even worse. You know what I mean? Ain't like, yeah, you know what I
Right.
mean? Yeah, that part. They're like, come on.
It's so bad when you do things like that. Oh, I tell people like they be like, yeah, I'm performing. I got like a whole half an hour set. I'm like, do you need a whole half an hour? No one even knows your music. They don't even know you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that
I'm
part.
like, don't get me wrong. Like, I was one of those, but I'm great. But here's the thing,
See,
right? I'm just saying,
You
if you
are
didn't know me,
hilarious.
I'm just honest. You know, it's honest smile and it's just
Hmm.
honest, right? But the thing is, if you notice, just like at award shows and stuff, the mainstream artists, they're
Hmm.
not up there for hours. They all do they hit single and they put so much work in to make
Right.
sure that 3 to 5 minutes, whatever time they have, is of quality.
Yeah.
Hours of rehearsals just to make sure that few couple of minutes is beautiful. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying?
I
Because
agree.
exactly.
I
Exactly.
agree. There's to me, there's also value in doing that's my computers, that's my bad. There's also a benefit to having the time, like having an hour and a half to do a whole musical story for an audience.
Mhm.
So you'll tell them where you're from, what kind of music, are your influences. You'll do some cover songs, and then you'll say, "But here's what I wrote, and here's my story." You know what I mean? So there's value in that too. I think there's a place for each one.
Mhm.
Neither one of them is easy to do because you have to be vulnerable. You have to have stamina to do a long show. But if you have a short amount of time and you have to make it count and gain fans and have people understand you in that short amount of time, you got to
Mhm.
turn a 5 minute song or a 3.5 minute song into like a 7 minute song. Put the dance moves in there, put the reharmonization in there, the extra
Mhm.
chorus and all the special stuff. You might have some pyro if you really huge, have the feature and all that good stuff. I'm working toward that. I'm excited to have pyro on a future show at some point.
Nice.
so what's a couple of your go to cover songs?
Ooh, I like jazz covers. I like standards. So I if I have time to do it, I do a Nancy Wilson song called Guess Who. Have you ever heard that one?
I'm not familiar with that, but I will be.
Okay, I'm not singing today only because I was not prepared for it, but you have to listen to it. It's a story about how she caught her man cheating and he was out with somebody. But it's crafted so well. The lyrics are just beautiful. And I can't relate to it now, but I used to be able to relate to it because I did catch somebody cheating on me one time in college.
Gotcha.
Oh my god.
Found the
Part
email
two.
in a shared account. And I'm like, you know what? Not only am I dating a cheater, but I'm dating an idiot. Let me go on and just cut him off, move him out of my apartment. And yeah, we haven't always made the smartest decisions, have we? But either way, I do that one and I do Ella Fitzgerald, just any one of her songs. I really like Miss Otis
Wow.
Regrets. And I
Wow.
like Nice Work If You Can Get It. And I like her rendition of oh gosh, what is it? It's not You Make Me Feel So Young. It's a Frank Sinatra song. I lost it. I totally lost it.
It's okay.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. We're gonna go commercial break for 3 minutes so she can remember now. But
I know. And then I know we're live, so I'm like, you know what? It's gone. It's gone.
absolutely,
Let's
absolutely. Now, I'm not a fan of jazz where I know like the artist names in their songs. You know, and
Yeah.
I'll admit that because, like I told you, I'm honest.
Yes.
But I can definitely enjoy it while it's on, if that makes sense, right?
Right. Hmm.
So, same question, but let's pick the genre of R&B
Oh
so
my
I
God.
can connect.
Okay.
Okay.
Love Usher. Something about Usher songs is just so appealing, whether you're singing it or listening to it. And when he came out with Good Kisser, which I have not performed because like kind of it doesn't make sense. Do you know that song? Make sure you guys know that I'm like, oh, the song. I was so glad he was back. to his original swag. So I love Usher songs. I love D'Angelo,
All
Lady.
right.
Even though I'm singing about a lady and I'm not a lesbian, the groove is just so sick. I have to sing that one sometimes. Um, Gosh, I did two male artists in a row. Of course, I love
Yeah, I'm just like, okay.
yeah, Mariah Carey. I love her. Um, for some reason, I really gravitate toward male singers. I love Maxwell. Oh my gosh, Bad Habit. Um, Gosh, there's so many artists that I absolutely love.
So there's
But
no female singers you enjoy singing?
say it again.
There's no female singers that you enjoy doing a cover of?
I do, I do. I love Mariah Carey songs. Always Be My Baby is really cute,
That's
and I
that's
never
my
get to
favorite.
see kids.
Oh,
Um,
that's
because
my
like
favorite.
I love that song. And
Yo.
Honey
Yeah.
is super fun to sing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm kind of drawing a blank right now, but I really, really do. I love R&B songs. I typically don't cover them. I typically cover jazz songs
Yeah.
for whatever reason, and then I'll remix them. I also like 90s alternative rock. So I'll remix. I know Incubus is one of my favorite
Okay.
of all times. And
Okay.
I when I went to Southern California, I played at this venue I love, and I always sell the show out. It's called Spaghettini, and they have the best food. So, and I love to eat. I talked about food when I first came on the screen to describe myself. Um, but I went there, and one of my favorite guitarists named Keita Matsuno, he loves 90s too. Like that whole time period, we were like super excited about Incubus, 311, Sublime, all that. So
Mm-hmm.
we took a System of a Down song. Do you guys know System of a Down at all?
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, just checking. Just trying to see, kind of like get a feel for you guys and who you guys are musically. You guys are DJs, so I figured you guys had heard. Remixed a System of a Down song, an Incubus song. Like we decided to turn them all into either R&B or Latin jazz, which was
Wow.
really interesting.
Oh.
Wow.
Yep. Ariel became Latin, Ariels. And then we did this song by Incubus, which is my favorite of theirs, called Dig.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only one we did as it originally was arranged. All the rest of them we changed. So, you just never know what you're going to get when you're comfortable with somebody. And I'm really, really comfortable with Keita Matsuno. So we always try something new. And I like to do Beyonce If I Were a Boy. In fact, I recorded that cover on my Conversations record. And so when me and Keita do that song, you never know what it's going to sound like. It's always different every single time.
Mm.
We don't get to work together often, so he throws curveballs at me all the time, which is the fun part for the audience and for me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love you're so smooth, right? Nino, did you pick up when she said her show is always sold out?
Yeah, no, I heard that. I like that. I like
I
that.
love
I like that.
that venue, which is why I love it, because they
I like
always
that.
show up and they always show love. And then I can go home with warm feelings, warm and fuzzies, and a check and some food.
There it is. You
The
had
best
an in a check.
kind
Man, I like that. Wow.
So speaking of the different variations of R&B and jazz that you love as covers, let's talk about your catalog.
yes. What do you want to know about? I have so much.
Everything.
Okay. Do we have the time? Is the question.
We have time for
So
you.
I started my solo career when I released a song called You and I in 2010.
Okay.
And it's my baby because it's the first song I wrote and actually released that, didn't go on someone else's record. And
Mm.
it wasn't even about my situation. You and I is about a couple who is going through problems in the bedroom. They don't have their connection that they used to have before, and they're trying to get it back. Now, I wrote this before I even got married, but I wrote it about somebody else's situation who shall go unnamed, who was confiding in me at the time.
Okay.
And so I will protect her name. But it turned out to be a great song. I wrote it with my father. His name's Gerald Albright. Hopefully, you guys know who he is too. jazz
Yeah, yeah.
saxophonist.
Y'all hear that? Gerald Albright.
He's the GOAT. You have to
Yeah,
know him.
A
So
legend.
yeah, legend. Facts. A
yes,
legit
absolutely.
legend. A legit legend in the game.
Legit, not self-proclaimed.
Yes, yes. A legit legend in the game. Yes.
Grammy nominations and notoriety across the world.
Ew.
He's one of the real ones. Yes. He gave me this track and I was like, ooh, I think I could do something with this. And so You and I was born and I wrote the song super fast. Like the words just came out of me because I just had a conversation, about the issue that such person was going through. And so that was really fun. And it ends up being one of the top 100 in the category of jazz on the iTunes downloads list. So it
Nice.
charted from the very beginning. And I was like,
Wow.
guys. And it was my first thing that I put out there. The next thing I put out was in 2013. It was an EP called Brighter. Now, between all of my projects, I'm always doing collaborative, projects with other people. But as far as my babies, Brighter was the first one that I executive produced. I wrote all but one cover. Um, so it had 5 songs on it that just came straight from my experience and my heart. And I was just about to get married to my husband, and I wrote a song for him and then made it the title track, Brighter. So y'all got to check that one out. Then
Definitely.
yes, and then beyond
Definitely.
more music started coming out and it just got more and more vulnerable, and it's always about me, my experience, and just things that I feel and see. And before I had an actual therapist, music was, writing music was my therapy. It was
Mhm.
just to release it and close the chapter, learn something, and then celebrate it by singing it on stage for y'all.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you a question. Since you came out and your first song that that you put out kind of did numbers, kind of worked for you.
It did.
Yeah, you know what I mean. How did that help you? Or sometimes that can hinder you if your first project comes out successful. You're like you're wondering about the next one. You're wondering about the next one. You're wondering about the next one. How did that affect you with your upcoming projects?
I didn't worry about the next project.
Wow, there you go.
See?
There you
I
go.
didn't.
I like
It
that.
For some reason, I was just in it for fun. And I had so many years of being in the background that I was just excited that people were listening. And I was excited to collaborate with my musical friends and family. It's a really small world. So you get to know people, you get to know their talent, and then you get to play with them and you get to sing with them and collaborate and write with them. It's really actually cool. So I've had fun and I've had enough years where I second guessed myself and questioned whether I was good enough. And so, I think by 2010, at least musically, I was at a point where I wasn't worried about that anymore. And I had already passed up 4 record deals so that I could go to college and have a fallback plan and, work a little bit in the field that I was in, which was education, in order to just make sure in case, because, I love to eat. I can't be a starving musician. So I later in life than most people do. So by that point, I wasn't affected. I wasn't worried about outdoing it. I just wanted it to be authentic. I wanted it to be fun and relatable. And it was really just my release. So if anything that I wrote actually sounded pretty good, I paired up with a producer or two and some musicians, and we threw it out there. If I was ready to let people know about that aspect of me, I'm still concealing some stuff.
Obviously.
Some
We can
stuff.
tell.
Yes, yes. But when I was ready to put it out, I was never worried, honestly. Interesting that you mentioned that. I mean, should I be worried about what comes after dishonest smile? I'm just having fun, y'all.
I got a. Well, I just literally forgot what I was about to say.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? I literally just forgot. TQuest, take this over.
Okay.
My God,
It's
man,
not.
that's my bad.
It's not that you should be worried, but being in the industry for so long, they always wondering what's the follow up. If you have a great first album, the sophomore have to be that and then some. It happens a lot, and they always have those conversations. So we were just curious when it comes to you in particular, but I love your mindset about it.
Yeah, I think God will handle all of that. Like he puts me through certain situations so that I can write something or have something to say and I can make it my testimony. So
Okay.
even if something doesn't do well, I don't take it personally. I
Mm-hmm.
like just reaching that one small group of people even. So if I reach even more than that, I don't put a lot of pressure on myself. I just, let it handle itself. I don't worry about tomorrow much anymore. I've gotten to that point in my life, so I'm having a blast doing this. I really, really like can sincerely say it's become even more fun. Like this is the most fun I've had. So, the next one probably will be collaborative. Just because I don't get to do that as often as I'd like.
Yeah.
And so that should be interesting because I typically don't release collaborations
Hmm.
on my own records. I It gets released onto theirs.
Got you. Got
So
you.
now
Got you.
I'm like, okay, let me see if I could write something or cover something and do it with one of my good girlfriends or something in the music
Hmm.
industry. So, but we all have our lives and stuff. So when it does line up,
Hmm.
I'm really excited about it.
Absolutely.
There you go. Now remember it. See that? Didn't take me that long. Have you always been able to record what you wanted to record, or sometimes there are like constraints on what you can and can't record?
I'm an independent artist, so I do what I want. And that's
Yeah.
the short answer. But I have noticed a pattern in what works and what doesn't because I am paying attention. And typically I will withhold certain songs and I'll say, well, when I'm gonna do a full album, then I'll make it one of the songs that's kind of super artistic that I can throw in there and show people what I can do and just stretch out a little bit. Um, Honestly though, like if I bother to go in the studio and record it, I really love it. So you know, yeah.
There you go. I like that. I
I
like that.
just I just love it and I just want to release it. Lately I've been doing a lot of singles, which means, they have to be radio ready.
Facts.
Some of them people are not ready to hear, so I do withhold. But the ones I put out typically I'm just like, yes.
I'm ready to hear all of them. Okay.
Ooh, so you're saying I should put out a full record in the near
Well,
Oh
future
my
and
God.
just put all the songs on there that I've been trying to withhold.
I don't think you understand that you are what is needed right now.
Yeah,
Thank
for
you.
real. Yeah, yeah,
Thank
and I honestly think the audience needs to hear this. You know what I mean? This is something that they need to hear.
Mhm.
Real talk. This is definitely something
Is
that
it
they need
that
to hear.
time, Nino?
It's that time.
Yay!
Don't
Yeah,
make me
Okay.
cry on Friday.
No, it's
it,
fine. It's fine. You know how
it's
many people come in the show
for
and
real.
cry?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah,
That was really sweet, you guys. Thank you.
yeah.
you know
Oh,
why? Because we're just honest. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I'm
we're
glad
just
y'all get it
honest.
though. Because I don't do
Absolutely.
this just, I'm doing it in fun. It is fun. But, this is my livelihood and I'm talking about
Yeah.
my life.
Yeah.
It's not something that I play with. I don't take it lightly. I'm always working toward doing better and better each time or doing something different each time at least.
Mhm.
And so hopefully you do hear the growth. Hopefully you hear, that things are changing. I don't like doing the same thing over and over again. And I think people get stuck. Like, for instance, I had to get out of smooth jazz because the smooth jazz industry wanted me to do the same thing over and over again. And I'm like, I don't really do a lot of covers. And I know y'all appreciate and like honor these songs. And I do too. But I'd rather do them live and I'd rather record from who I am and where I'm coming from personally,
Absolutely.
you know? So being an R&B soul artist, that allows me to stretch out a little bit more and say more. I think the R&B soul audience is ready to hear more of my experience, more lyrics too, than smooth jazz. A lot of smooth jazz is instrumental, which is great, and you can feel the emotion in it when the right artist is performing those songs and recording those songs. But
Hmm.
something about for me when you put it into words and somebody can connect to it, and then you hear people like you see their mouths moving while you're singing and they're saying what you're saying. And I'm just like you learned my song. You know what I mean? There's something about that.
Absolutely.
And there's
Hmm.
something about having a person come back to you and say, you know what, like you wrote that song for me. I know you wrote that song for me. I know you don't know me, but it was for me.
Facts.
Yeah, especially like when you write about food and I don't know if you guys have heard the song "Eat Something" yet that I released in 2017, but that was the last song where I was just like, okay, we're gonna put it on the record, sure. And everybody loved it. It's a song about food with a double meaning. And it's a celebration of love and gaining weight after you get married. Because I wrote it after, being in my relationship with my husband for so many years. I was like, dang, my body does not look the same. I love my new booty. I love my boobs and my hips, but I gotta throw some clothes away and get some new. And I wrote about it. And the first line was grew 2 sizes in 2 years. Smile is stretched from ear to ear. Had to get new lingerie, throw all them bridal gifts away. Like I went into detail about. I told you I wasn't gonna sing today, y'all. Made me sing with that compliment, I think. But that song, like somebody came up to me after the show and said, "I'm so glad you wrote a song about this because women don't get to celebrate their new booties," and we gyrated like together at the end of the song, like we were dancing and everything. It was great. Like I had these moments all the time with people.
Absolutely. Once again, the music that you produce is what the people actually really want and fiending for.
I
And that is so true because relationship weight is real. And
it is.
happy
It's good.
relationship
Yeah, yeah.
weight.
Happy
Yeah, not
relationship
the
is
stress
good.
eating relationship
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
weights.
no, no,
No,
no,
not that.
no.
No. But I
Happy.
was so happy to have bigger boobs. I kept having to get new bra sizes, and I was like, "Yes, I can't go to Victoria's Secretions anymore because and it's an in living color reference from the character named I think Wanda. I'm telling my
The one
age.
that Kim played, right?
It was Jamie Foxx.
Oh, oh, Wanda. Got you. Got
Hmm.
you.
Did I say
Okay.
Wanda?
You did say Wanda.
Okay, I just want to make sure because I'm like, did I say Wendy or what? Yes, I think he was the one who said Victoria's Secretions. But yeah, I can't go there anymore because my booty got too big, and that's when I knew I was like,
No.
okay, I really got a booty now. And wrote a song about it. So yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm having a fan moment. Go ahead, Nina.
I'm y'all fan now too.
Because this is the way it's supposed to be when it comes to music. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be excited about it when you want to hear it. It's just so saturated. Now it's like, oh, you're a music artist. You'd be like, you too? Okay, great. Yeah, you hear, but it's just like you were just, oh, beautiful. Yeah.
You.
So, let's talk about this single,
Yes.
"Dishonest Smile." Please explain to the people what this song is actually about.
It's better if you just hear it, but I will say, um, I was in the middle of having a physical and emotional it was physical emotional exhaustion that was turning into a breakdown as I was writing the song.
Mm,
I've never been literally on the floor crying and writing a song before, and this was that
mm,
one. So and the melody came out so easily. I wrote the song so fast. It was just pouring out of me. Now there's some songs where I have to force it and it takes time. This one was just like I'm crying. I didn't look like this. I had already taken my makeup off and put my serums on. I was in my pajamas and I just broke down. I had just come off of tour, and it was a Christmas tour where we had traveled a lot. And I was pregnant with my first kid. Hormones were raging.
mm,
And so I just had this moment where I hid in the bathroom. My husband's, across the adjacent wall, has no idea what's going on.
mm.
And I'm just exhausted and I can do nothing but cry and wonder if joy comes in the morning. That's how sad the moment was that I was in. And so you'll even hear in the song, does the joy really come in the morning? I'd almost rather cry on this cold floor and let you snore, 'cause I still have to brave tomorrow morning with a dishonest smile. Like, I was on the floor writing these lyrics. I finally did ask my husband to come into the bathroom, and He came and he brought food, water, all the things he knew on a basic level that I would need. And he brought all the love and hugs. But that was a very real moment to write in and to write from. And I think a lot of people, they will fake it and have a dishonest smile. It was the day before Christmas Eve, December 23rd, 2019. I'll never ever forget it. And my last gig was on the 22nd, and I collapsed. I was done.
Mm,
And touring is really hard on the body anyway, but when you're making a person and you're about to start making the glands that make food for the person, and you're making a whole nother organ, the placenta and the water and all that, and I'm in high altitude, I was
mm,
exhausted. So it's about just letting yourself be vulnerable, asking for help when you're not the type of person to do that. You just wear all the hats and you don't say anything. And then you put on this fake smile for everybody and you become really, really good at it because that's what you're taught by society to do, not to be honest about, I actually do need this help and I need to cry on my husband's shoulder or somebody's shoulder. I need to go and call that therapist. You just put the smile on instead and you let the stuff sit in your body and stress you out when you could have easily just released it. So writing this song was a release for me. I know I've said a lot, but writing this song was a huge release. And a lot of people didn't know what was going on in my life at the time, not even my in laws who I was staying with. And it was their bathroom I was crying on. And only my husband knew. And that's after a few months after that is when I found my therapist. I was like, okay, I can't do it. And I'm so glad this song is immortalizing this testimony
mm.
because now anybody can listen to it and be like, okay, even Selina Albright can go through this. Let me go on and call not BetterHelp, sorry, but call somebody's therapist and just work it all out, talk about it, talk through it. Call a friend to be your moral support and have them go with you if necessary. People are going through some serious issues right now, especially not being able to escape them because of the pandemic.
Mhm.
We were forced to be at home and actually deal with our stuff. And 2019 was before the pandemic even hit. So by the time it hit, and then I was becoming a mom for the first time, and no help was coming in person to help with that. Oh
Mhm.
yeah, like we've gone through a lot, and I don't think we're really doing as much about it as we should. It's getting there.
Mhm.
But this song was supposed to encourage people. Somebody named Whitney Little Lee said, "I totally understand that karaoke is my therapy." I'm so glad you're listening, Whitney. We needed that to kind of lift the mood a little bit.
Facts.
Yeah, like I think this song was necessary and it took some courage to release it, I'll be honest, because you don't want to ever admit on a grand scale that you're going through something if you're not used to doing that on a regular basis. But I took a risk here and now I'm all about it. I will tell everybody.
I love it.
Yeah, that is. And it's a strong song too. You know what I mean?
It's so great.
I'm sure our audience will enjoy it. I'm sure they will enjoy this. All right.
I
Now,
hope so.
without further ado, we're gonna get this on Selena Albright. The Sound is Smile.
Five, four, three, two,
Y'all did the video and everything. Ah,
Shout out to
y'all
Dijon.
all
No,
That song, too. It's a great song. That is a great
I'm over
song.
here just trying to get in acting mode because when you internalize it, it's just too much. It's too much. It's too much. How do
it's
you
a,
feel when you listen back to the song and watching the video?
I go back to where I was, not in a way, that's going backwards. I don't regress back to how I felt. It's just I remember, so the video and the song itself will always have its imprint. I'll always remember just the feeling I had and just never wanting to go back to that moment. But, you know, sometimes it's just like that. You can't predict what's going to happen. So you have these moments where you just get exhausted or you get confused and you get disappointed or whatever the case may be. So when I watched it, I was like, ooh, I got to chill a little bit, and it happens every time I watch the video because to see it go from color and reduce down to black and white as I started feeling worse and worse,
Mm.
um, I was afraid at the time that I wasn't going to be able to come out of that feeling because it was just so deep. Like I didn't know how I was going to do it by myself, so I had to lean on my husband and God. I was that exhausted and that emotionally drained. So, that's why I kept asking, does the joy really come in the morning? Do I have to wait a few or several mornings? So yeah, when I watch it, it's pretty deep for me. It's like watching someone suffer and wanting to reach in and help, you know. But you can't change the past and you can't help your past self. You just have to do better in the future, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The song's great.
We both gonna cry on a Friday.
This song is great.
No,
Questions.
no.
You good? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Wow.
Is
I'm gonna wait
Strong,
till after the show.
strong,
you
strong,
say?
strong.
I'm gonna wait till after the show.
Yeah.
It's
I'm gonna
beautiful.
need steak. I'm gonna really enjoy those flavors of the steak. I need them to make the fatty edges need to be just the right amount of crispy and just the right amount of crumbly. That's what I need. This
You're
this
my
has been a
favorite person
really
right now.
huh?
You're my favorite person right now. Seriously, no, like no, for real. Because music is such therapy. It's so
Yeah.
powerful. It's so sensitive, and it's like I love when someone just comes in with a natural gift. And I tell some people, they be like, I just wrote a song or recorded a song, whether it's singing, rapping, or whatever, with a powerful message. I want you to play it. I'm like, look, I get what you're trying to say.
Mm.
I get what you're trying to deliver, but you didn't.
Oh no.
I'm just being honest. It happens. I'm like, I'm not trying to be rude, but at the end of the day, I have to be honest.
Yeah.
You didn't hit the mark, but
Yeah, she had
It's
the
good
mark.
to
she hit
know.
the mark.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
hit the mark.
You.
yeah,
You
No,
hit
yeah.
the mark.
It's
I
no
feel
doubt.
really honored that y'all have me on here because it sounds like you guys are very picky about who, like, just who you have on here, and I just really appreciate that you love the song so much that y'all invited me to come on here and be on your platform. You know?
Absolutely.
Song is strong. It deserves. This song deserves light. You deserve light. You know what I mean?
Thanks.
For real, deserve light.
Absolutely. I'm telling you, like, I hear it all the time. I'm like, I'm sorry, your song is not great, okay? Like, I don't feel that emotion. If someone's writing a love song, right? I
Mhm.
want to feel in love when I hear it, even if in that moment I may not be. You know what I'm saying? In this,
Yeah.
or if you're writing a song, there's something I can relate to,
Mhm.
and I'm not connecting to it, that means it wasn't done properly. You
Yeah.
know, so
Yep.
every element matters, from production to the lyrics, to how you deliver the lyrics, to the harmonies and the ad libs and like every component to coming up with quality music. It matters. You can't drop the ball because it's just gonna ruin the masterpiece. And that song is just so beautiful.
Thank you.
Exactly.
That
So
means
honest.
a lot because y'all have no idea what went into the making of this song. And like literally, and I haven't said this during an interview before, but I feel comfortable here. When I recorded, I purposefully waited until I was exhausted again to record the
Mm,
vocals so that my voice could crack or could, sound vulnerable enough. Because, I'm not an actress, not, just not a career. It's something I could be interested in doing in the future, but sometimes you have to wait for the real moment to go in the
mm,
studio and do it. And during that point, when I recorded it, I was going through a lot during that time too. And it was in the middle of the pandemic when I finally
mm,
recorded it and had the courage. And my son was 3 months old by this point. And we were dealing with sleep regression, and we had just taken a road trip from Texas, where we had moved before we had gotten pregnant, from Texas all the way up to Colorado so that he could meet his grandparents. And that ride was so long. And my husband said, let's start the drive in the evening, drive overnight through Amarillo and all that stuff. And all the little villages that have like what is it called? The sundown towns where they have the curfew.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about for Black people?
Yeah.
I think they're called sundown towns. I'm thankful that I don't have to actually experience those firsthand. But
Mm-hmm.
we were driving through those in the middle of the night, and I breastfed, so I was nursing my son in our car at gas stations whenever he would get hungry, and that was our drive to my parents' house. So by the time we got there, I collapsed. The day
Mm,
after that is when I recorded the vocals in my dad's
wow.
studio in the basement. I
Wow.
was like, "This is the time to do it. Dad, can I use your studio?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's fine. You know how to do it, right?" Yep. And so I engineered my own vocals that night. It was just me in the room by myself.
Wow.
Yes, with one mic, a whole mess of buttons and levers and stuff that I didn't. I only used like two of the faders. That's all I need.
Mm-hmm.
For the vocals for the left and the right ear. That's all I need.
Yeah.
And yep, I recorded them by myself and took myself back to that place. It was really, when I think back on it, everything was intentional, and that's what makes it. I'm proud of myself for having released it because I could have just let it be in the vault for myself to remember what not to go back to take care of myself better. But it's more powerful as a testimony. I really want
Ab-
people to take better care of themselves.
absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm definitely glad that you didn't keep this for yourself. You know what I mean? I'm definitely glad. For real. Strong, strong song. Strong
Thank
song.
you.
Strong song.
You said
Strong
strong
song.
about 20 times, and I
Because
appreciate that. That means a
because
lot.
it is. Because it is. The whole thing. Like I said, it sounds right. You know what I mean? It sounds right. It's recorded right. The whole nine. The video works, So
Absolutely.
you did your thing on
And
this.
another thing that I do when it comes to people who talk to us, when they have like emotional songs or serious songs, sometimes it be the songs like I understand where you're going with it, right? And
Oh my God.
no, it's a little different. A little different this time. And it's like certain places I don't want to go back to. So I
Yeah.
can enjoy your song in this moment, but
Hmm.
I'm never actually going to request to go back to that moment, right? But
Right.
if you do it the right way,
Mm.
this song resonate and I feel connected to it, but it's done so well that is a song that our request. We already sent it to other DJs in our R&B division. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
Like
Yep,
we've
that's the
already been
thing.
sharing it for you. Like it's done so well. Like I would be honored to continue to play this song and listen to this song. It's all
Y'all
about
are
how you do it.
really making. Ooh, I'm gonna eat the heck out of that steak tonight. God, I'm gonna have the potatoes and everything. Thank you so much. You know, it's just cool to hear that yeah, I'm just glad it had that effect. It tickles me. It really does. Because I got to work with my favorite people on this one, and it's only a few. So James J. Rob Roberson is the producer on it. He played all the instruments, every last one, down to the drums, the key bass, all that stuff, piano. He's just a genius. And he's straight out of the church. I intentionally worked with him on this one because I needed it to have that gospel feel while also having the 90s R&B feel. And even in the video, I was like, this needs to be vulnerable. My husband actually shot the video. All I did was stand behind a camera and perform. I chose my wardrobe. I chose my makeup artist. His name is Jeray Daniels. He's amazing. And I said, I want to look toe up as much as possible without worrying people. And so I had just gotten my hair done. We did all this to it and put the hairspray and stuff and tried to make me look as messed up as possible without going too far, because you can't go all the way there. I don't want people to worry. And literally between takes, my son was part of the video too. He's walking between my feet and stuff like that. It was a beautiful process putting this out, and it was mixed by a Grammy Award winning mixing engineer, and his name is Robert Horn. He's amazing, and he does all
Yes, he
this
is.
stuff now.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. This is
You've
great.
heard you've heard him before.
This is great. No, I'm just listening to you. Listen to this
Oh,
song right now. You know what
oh,
I mean? This is. It sounds great. It sounds great.
thank
It's,
you. If you only knew, like, there are so few people involved in this song, but it's like a few of my favorite people to work with from beginning to end. And the person who edited the video, BZ Films, his name is Marshall Blue, one person, and we've all each been in these situations before where we were exhausted, and they all brought their A game to this song. All I had to do was send a concept vocal, like a scratch vocal, to James J. Rob Roberson, and he built all that around the vocal. And
Wow.
I mean, just the way it couldn't have been more perfect. So I'm so glad y'all love the song, and I appreciate y'all supporting it so that people can be blessed by it. You know,
it is.
I'm
It
really
is.
moving with this, and I'm happy.
This is a great song.
Thanks.
Great song. Great song.
You
Great song.
are your earrings.
Yeah, that
Ah,
part. That
thank
part. I saw that too.
you.
I
That
saw that
just
too.
fit in like perfectly into the screen right
It
there.
really did. It really did.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to keep it light because as soon as I get off here, I'm gonna bawl like a baby,
Yeah.
I
and
feel
I'm
like
gonna
I
be like you. I'm
know.
like, just hold me.
Oh, that actually is in the song. Come
That's
hold me in the song.
what I said. It.
You
You
just
know,
want to
I'm just like,
crawl under a
just
blanket after you hear it.
mm,
But
mm.
there is some hope in it too. There's always hope in it. If I'm gonna put it out there, there's gonna be some kind of. I'm looking forward to the joy after this, but this doesn't feel very good right now.
Mhm.
Kind of situation. So I'm glad that God gave me the gift of joy. I think that's the thing that's been carrying me through all the situations like this that I've been going through, and that He made me smart enough to actually fix problems rather than just sit on them all day for years.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, there you go.
So
This
please,
this is
everybody, get therapy.
mm,
Yeah, please get there because my shop is closed.
Oh, and if you're not paying me, I'm not
Look,
helping you either.
I'm at the point like I helped out so many people one time that I became sick at the end because I gave them all of me. And everyone's
Oh,
like, "Oh, thank you so much." It was to the point I was shut down for like a week. I have literally nothing else to give. So now I limit my time.
yeah.
Because I'm already a busy person, but I'm just like, I don't understand how my mentors who do this all the time, how do they do it and I can't? And you know why? They hand select the people. I gave
Ah,
an ear to everyone. It's a
yeah.
different.
Oh,
So I
yes,
was
I
like,
do.
it's not gonna work. I gotta regroup, rebuild. So when if some people are talking to me, like I'm listening and I'm giving advice, but so everything's about time because at the end of the day I can help you, but I still gotta make sure I help me too.
This is true. And even
Mhm.
restaurants say, hey, we reserve the right to refuse service to
that's right.
anybody.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
restaurant can do it, even McDonald's. Then
Yeah.
you can do it for your nuggets of wisdom that you're giving to everybody that they most likely, if they're still coming to you, aren't following your advice anyway.
I,
And then you just spend
I said
all that
that.
time.
Tell you my new best friend. I was like, look, don't call me no more. What do you
Mhm,
mean, Quest? I'm like, you talk about the same thing every time. I give you wonderful advice for free.
mhm.
You like drama. You like confrontations. Just own up to it,
I like
okay?
that. I
Yes,
saw that. I like that.
yes. I know. I cross my eyes all the time. My mom's like, they're gonna stay that way. It hasn't happened yet. It has been years. But yeah, it's true. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give you the number to a therapist who I think can help you. And you can pay
There it
for it.
is.
You invest in yourself and invest in your personal growth. Then you'll actually follow the the advice that's been given to you over and over again. But you pay for
Absolutely.
it.
Absolutely.
No,
Yeah, this is
I handpick people who I feed into as well. And
Mm,
I try only to give from my excess. That's one thing that my mom always told me to do. Like if you're gonna give, make sure you're full first and then give. So,
it is.
this is a rough week. I had a massage therapist come over and I treated myself to a massage just earlier today. You have to do that sometimes.
Yep.
And you got to eat the steak. I've mentioned this steak about
Mm.
3, 4
I
times.
know.
Have
We gonna let you
You
go
know,
get to
yeah,
that
we got.
steak. We're gonna let you go get to that
Well, no,
steak.
my husband's not even back to take me on the date yet. So,
Uh,
we have time, but I really did have a good time talking to y'all. I feel like we're already kin.
This was
And
meant to happen.
yes, I want to
yes.
do it again for the next single. The
No,
Ab-
next,
real talk. And anything that you have upcoming or whatever that you just want to, you know what I mean?
Come to
Just
us.
hit us up.
Just come to
I'm
okay.
right
us.
through because we have literally given this to other members of our R&B division, and
Hmm.
I got other DJs that hit me up. This is one of the songs I like recommend. You know what I mean? That
Hmm.
I'm like, yeah, you need to listen to this one,
Okay.
and this is one of those songs. So
I so
Absolutely.
appreciate it. I mean,
this
y'all
one,
know where to find me, and now I know where to find y'all.
yeah,
So,
there you go,
I do
there
have
you go.
something that's gonna come out. I definitely will be letting you guys know. Y'all will be one of the
Please
first.
do.
All right,
Please
Yeah.
do. We would
we
even
definitely
do a
appreciate
listening
that.
session with the DJs if you want.
Let's do that because I would like
Just
to know I have a gospel song and a song about homelessness. And I want to
then
know which one of those.
okay.
Uh, yeah, I'm trying to decide which one is the next to release.
All right,
So what we'll do is we'll blend the R&B division and the gospel division on the same Zoom, and then we
Mm,
all will be there together for you for the listening party. Give your
yeah, we
our
can do
opinion.
that. Facts. There you go.
See, we
There you
yeah,
go.
got you.
I would love to do that.
There you
And I
go.
don't get to
Absolutely.
do that very often. Usually I make the decision myself, but I would
Mhm.
love to hear from people who actually do this. And I would love to hear from the listeners too. So if we have 2 singles and your listeners can just say, hey, which one is the bop?
Mhm. We could do that.
There
Yeah.
you
So so
there
excited.
you go. Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
set that up. We
I'm
definitely gonna
excited
set
too. Shoot. Let's make it a thing.
we
Absolutely.
definitely
We'll
set
be
that
the
up.
host, of course.
Okay.
Um
I'm welcome back. I know you guys. We've already built the rapport. I feel
Yeah,
like y'all are family.
Absolutely.
Let's do it with y'all.
Absolutely.
yeah, we definitely gonna set that up. You got any final words for our viewers out there?
I would like for you guys to know where to connect with me because I want to get a chance to know each and every one of y'all.
Mhm.
Because I'm the one who actually does my own social media and my website. So SelinaAlbright.com. Look at how it's spelled at the bottom of the screen. Oop, I'm backwards.
Like, I like it. She's doing that. I like that.
Lina. Don't make me have to cross my eyes with you again. It's I. And you can go to SelinaAlbright.com or at Selina Albright everywhere. And I just want to say thank you so much for tuning into this. Even if you weren't in real time and you're listening after the fact, I appreciate y'all supporting this radio station, and Dishonest Smile, and all the rest of the bops I got that you may not know about yet. I want y'all to check those out too because they're still golden.
Is that word
There it
yet?
is. There it is. Selena Albright. Somebody y'all need to have on your radar. Y'all
Thank
definitely need to have her on
you.
your radar.
Absolutely.
Definitely do.
Absolutely.
Definitely do.
Well, I'm excited to be part of her new media PR team
Wow.
because look, that's all it takes is just to be
It really is.
professional. have a great positive energy, a great story with the product to back it up. And they were happy to help promote it. So that was
Man,
easy. But
how did that? Yes. I love
absolutely. So this has been super awesome. And I'm
it.
honored. We're definitely gonna stay in contact to let us know when you want to do it, so we can have enough time to like contact everyone to
Yeah.
put it together, and we're gonna have some fun. So once again, we appreciate you, Selina Albright, with
Yeah.
her new single "Dishonest Smile." You can find it on all streaming platforms out there.
Ah, I love your voice. You really
Oh,
are the
thank
voice
you,
goddess. You're the
thank
voice
you.
goddess.
You know,
I
I'm
love
gonna say
it.
that after the show for our 2 minute after break. But yes, this has been great. This has been absolutely been great. And yes, shout out to Selina Albright for sharing her story and her song, and everybody on the check-in. And you guys know, if you missed the information, shame on you, but you can always catch the recap on youtube.com/TQuestGLM. Remember to follow Selina Albright as well as DJ El Nino and your girl T Quest at TQuestGLM. And you guys know we're here for each and every one of you. So if you ever need us to help you elevate in your brand, hit us up. Hey, you.
Me?
Yes, you.
What up?
Are you ready to take your brand to the next level?
Hell yeah.
GLM Designs can help you with just that.
Word?
From laptop skins,
You lying.
promotional flyers,
Yo, son.
promo videos,
I need that.
OBS Twitch overlays and backgrounds,
Hey, yo, let me get that.
professional one sheets, and so much more.
Oh my God.
Please visit our
I'm on
website,
it right now.
GottaLoveMeWorld.com today to check out our designs.
Got it.
Follow us on social media at Gotta Love Me World.
Follow it.
GLM Designs are here to take care of all your graphic needs.
The TQuest Show with DJ El Nino. Relatable, informative, yet entertaining. If you think you can handle being a guest on the show, contact us today. We've interviewed independent artists to mainstream, regular folk to celebrities. You never know who's going to be our special guest, and one day it may just be you. Follow us on all social media platforms at TQuestGLM and DJ El Nino. El Nino.